Good evening and thank you for joining us. And you can notice sitting to my right is our own Carly Agro, finally returned from her odyssey, her trek as it were across the Midwest to sell out the Bobcats game. And Carly, obviously you're here, mission accomplished.
I know, mission accomplished. We're able to say that. It's so exciting. And the puck drop is just a couple hours away now. So big thank you to everybody out there, but our job's not done yet. We sold the game out. Now you got to actually get to the game and go. So there you go.
Well, we'll get you there just as soon as we can get you off the air. Carly and Gerard, what are we looking forward to? And what could be the last real nice weekend of the summer?
I think we should go out and enjoy it for sure. We've got some colder ones coming in. Let's see what we're dealing with, all right? What's in the future, we'll deal with that too. We're at 29, humidity at 28%. The winds very gentle. The UV index got up to 5 again today. And as we compare across the region in the Lakeland, looking at 31, the Battleford's at 30, but lots of enjoyable sunshine for us to really savor in. This weekend is looking like a scorcher as well. We'll talk a bit more about that in our second installment.
This Sunday marks the 10-year anniversary of 9/11. 26 Canadians were killed in the tragedy, including Lloydminster native and hockey hero Garnet Ace Bailey. A decade later, through his legacy, the man known for putting a smile on everybody's face is still improving the lives of many. Robert Buffum has more.
Teammates described him as effervescent, the glue that held the locker room together and kept everybody loose.
It's tough to keep morale up in a group, you know, the fellas that don't play, and it's easy to kind of, some of the teams would have guys kind of complaining, whereas Ace was always so upbeat and full of positive energy and just bringing everybody together in a positive direction.
He was equally loved outside the hockey world.
Ace was a one-in-a-million person, you know. He was very loved in the hockey world. And, you know, the guys will tell you that played with him, he wasn't the guy that went out and scored a bunch of points for you, but he was the guy that kept the dressing room loose. He was the guy that kept the team together. He was the guy that lifted all spirits when things were low. And he did that in our family as well.
Winning a Stanley Cup is a boyhood dream for many Canadians. The Lloydminster native lived that dream 7 times as a player and pro scout in the National Hockey League, in a career that saw him win championships with Bobby Orr and Wayne Gretzky. But Bailey's storybook life came to a sudden and tragic end on 9/11, when he was killed while a passenger on United Airlines Flight 175 that crashed into the World Trade Center, leaving behind Catherine, his wife of 30 years, and Todd, a son who was 23 at the time. In the wake of his death, his family started a foundation in his name. It's raised $1.5 million through various fundraisers and helps sick children in the Boston area, a cause always close to Bailey's heart.
Ace would just take it and run with it. And the kids, you know, whether he was doing a Donald Duck imitation or a clown costume or balloons or whatever, he gave it full out and so much energy for those kids, they couldn't help but get just, you know, excited.
Ace adored children, and children adored Ace. And it was a constant theme in Ace's day. He was always doing something to make some kid happy.
And the man who was Gretzky's first roommate on the road and someone the Great One described as a father figure and mentor also had a huge impact on his hometown, where he played all of his minor hockey.
Well, Lloydminster Minor Hockey's a supporter, a fan of Ace Bailey and everything he did in the community and in the hockey world. So we have a boys tournament in his honor, in his memory every year.
10 years after the tragedy that claimed his life, Ace Bailey's indelible and uplifting spirit is as strong as ever. Robert Buffum, Newcap News.
Lloydminster held a special council meeting early this morning to help get some new construction plans up and running. The first thing on the agenda was replacing the old airport roof after noticing some moisture getting in due to a building defect.
When they peeled back some of the roof surface, they found that there was another roof underneath of it. There was cedar shakes. And the cedar shakes, of course, are put on, penetrate a membrane. You think you're going to pull off the old roof and put on a new roof, and the membrane's intact. Wasn't the case.
Also, Parkview Estates has been subdivided into 49 new lots, and now they can get the groundwork started.
It's bringing the water, the sewer in, and then, of course, getting the dirt to the grade that it needs to get to so that you have drainage and what have you, and ostensibly to where you're ready to go to put roads in at that point in the spring.
The next regular council meeting will be held on September 26th. Registered non-profit organizations in the border city will now be able to contribute more of their fundraising money towards supporting their cause. This was made possible after City Council passed a motion to offer discounts for those groups hosting charity events. Kathy Lee has the story.
Counting cards and making sure chips are in place, these Labus employees are getting ready for their upcoming charity poker tournament.
We fundraise for a life enrichment program that we host. It's for survivors of acquired brain injury.
While funds raised will benefit their cause, Holly Gauthier says putting on the event doesn't come without a heavy price tag.
To date, we've spent about $7,000 renting the Civic Center for a poker tournament.
To lessen the financial burden, the city has passed a motion to grant discounts to registered nonprofit groups hosting fundraising events.
Council knows how hard these groups work. This is a way for us to assist those groups in raising funds, because those funds typically go back into the community, and also promote the city as a functioning conference center.
Groups can use a discount twice a year at city-operated facilities such as a civic center or the Service Sports Center. 50% will be granted if organizations choose to rent a conference, meeting, or ballroom. If an event involves families with children, 25% will be offered on 10-day passes for youths to use amenities like the swimming pool.
These organizations will contact us first and let us know what the event is. We then sit down with them, look at what their needs are, and then we discuss what's available as far as facilities and look at the discounting structure.
Awesome. No, that saves us so much. You have no idea.
After hearing about the news, Gauthier has already planned to use a discount for their upcoming event.
We have the Civic Center upstairs booked for September 30th for our 14th poker tournament, so we will certainly be taking advantage. That will help us out a lot.
Because she says whatever they can save, more will go towards helping the community.
That money can now go towards our day-to-day operations. It costs a lot to keep this program going. All of our programming is free to our participants, so it takes a lot to keep our doors open.
Kathy Lee, Newcap News.